Hello, dear students. I hope you all are safe and healthy. My name is Ankita, and I am teaching as an assistant professor in Department of Computer Science and Engineering at St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management, Gurugram. I welcome all of you to the lecture 13 of my online lecture series of object-oriented programming. And in this video, we will be doing further topics of exception handling, chapter 4, unit 4, that is specifying an exception and rethrowing mechanism of an exception. So in previous video we studied about the exception handling mechanism, what are the various types of exceptions, and what is the mechanism for handling exception, what are the roles of three keywords try, catch and throw in exception handling mechanism, what is the catching mechanism. So all these topics we have seen in the previous video also. We will recall the concept of exception handling first of all, and then we will look into the specifying an exception and rethrowing mechanism of an exception. So exceptions are the situations which must be avoided during the program executions, and normally they are encountered when the program is executing. Okay, so there are different type of error: compile time error and runtime errors also. So compile time errors are like syntax error, logical errors, and whereas the runtime errors are known as the exceptions, and they are caused by the errors, invalid inputs and the invalid processing. And exceptions can lead to either program termination or generating the unexpected out. All the errors are actually exceptions, but not necessarily all exceptions are the errors. So all exceptions may not be errors. So we should be able to distinguish among exceptions and the errors. So we will be able to do that by executing much of the programs related to the exception handling. And these exceptions can be handled or avoided by simply control statements such as if else statements. And but most of the languages, they provide separate mechanism for exception handling, and these separate mechanism is comprised of these keywords try, catch and throw. And throws is again the another keyword for rethrowing mechanism. So these exception handling basically a process of handling exceptional situations or the circumstances that may occur in the program due to the above stated reasons, and in such a way that the program will terminate gracefully, and it will give a proper message, and then it will be terminated. And after giving the proper message stating the reason for the exception, the program continues to execute after correcting the error. So exception handling mechanism includes the way to tell the programmer that some unexpected has occurred in your program, or while running your program some unexpected statements are encountered due to any reason, like invalid input you have given, invalid processing you have incorporated into your program. So these exceptions may be due to any reason. Okay, so exceptional handling mechanism will notify you that, or the programmer, that something unexpected has occurred, and we should take the proactive actions also to resolve such exception. Okay, so three keywords are used, and the exception handling process takes place as follows. To catch the exceptions, we must place a portion of code under the exception inspection, and we can do this by putting the portion of that code in the try block. Okay, so when the exceptional circumstances occur, then an exception is thrown. So throw takes place inside the try block, and this in turn transfers the control to the exception handler, and exceptional handling mechanism is written inside the catch block. And if there are no exceptions thrown, then the code will continue normally, and all the handlers are in that case ignored. So this is a normal example in which in the main function we have written one try block, and it throws a number that is 5, and that number is given to the catch block, which specifies that an exception has occurred. So if we run this particular code, what output it will produce, let's see it with the help of some online editor. So when I run this program, it will produce this following output: an exception occurred, and exception number is 5. So it states that whenever the program encounters the number 5, then the exception occurs, and this exception is given to the catch block, where it will be handled by notifying the programmer that an exception has occurred, and it will display the reason why the exception has occurred. So this is just a demonstration of try, catch and throw blocks, that how these three keywords will be written in your program when you are writing a program for exception handling. So try block comprises of the problem, I mean the code where the problem may occur. Okay, may occur. The problem may or may not occur. So that is not necessarily that there will be an exception definitely, but try block comprise the statements that this portion of code may encounter any exception. Try block in its own block can have some user defined function also. We can invoke any function also here. Okay, by calling or by invoking any function here inside this try block, we are just notifying that the exception may occur inside that particular function. So you can also call any function inside the try block. We will see such examples further in this video. So we have seen the above code that demonstrated the try block, catch block and throw block. The throw exception can accept any parameter and which is passed as an argument to the exception handler, that is catch block. And as we seen in this example, we passed an integer 5. So we declared that the exception handler with the keyword catch keyword, and we saw that the catch format looks the same as the normal function, and the catch statements always has at least one parameter. Okay, so if we write certain dot after writing this catch block, then that is the example of the generalized catch statement. We have seen this example in previous videos as well. So if we write such statement, so it means that it is still having parameters and it is a generalized catch. Okay, the type of the parameters used in the catch statement must be same as the type used by the throw statement. So if it will be having integer, catch will definitely have integer. If it will have character exception, catch will also have the character type. If it is not, the exception will not be caught. If these two things are not same, then it will not be caught. So for this reason, it is possible to use multiple exception handlers also. You can have multiple catch blocks inside your program also. We just use different catch statements which in turn use different parameter types. Only the handler that matches its type with the argument specified in the throw statement is executed. So here, as you can see, we have integer 5. So the catch block which is having the integer parameter will be matched with this particular throw statement, and this catch is executed for this particular throw. If it is having any character value, then it should have one character. So in this example, if it is having a character and we have written this catch block with the integer parameter, the exception will not be there. Okay, so it will execute in a normal manner as a normal program. So this is not a program for exception handling in that case. So execute this program also. We have another example. So let's run this program in your online editor again to see. Here we have multiple catches. See, int a, float b, and this is the generalized catch. I will just add the comment. Generalized catch block. Okay, so we will see its functionality also. Let's have this program into our main editor, main online editor. In this program, we have taken one number and one string variable which is having a message wrong number used, and cout we have given the input for number whether 1 or 2. So it will compare with number 1 with 1 time, and for if it is equal to 1, then it will throw integer exception. If it is equal to 2, then it will throw the float exception, and if it is not either equal to 1 or 2, then it will throw the string exception. Okay, and we have printed we have taken this variable for the exception, so that's why it will print the wrong number used. So if I run this program, so first time I enter the value 1 here, then what will be the output? It will jump onto the exception handler with the integer parameter, because throw 5, this is one integer number and it will match with the catch having the integer number. So this message will be printed and then it will display the number due to which the exception occurred. And next time if I print if I enter 2 as a number, then what will be the output? On which catch block it should jump? It will jump onto the float. Okay, see, if number is equal to 2, then it will go to the 1.1 f. It will display the 1.1 b, because because throw was 1.1 float, and this throw matches with the b statement. That's why when we printed b here, it will display the 1.1. So run this program for third time. If I enter any other number like 3, so what will be the output? It will jump onto the generalized catch. So in any of the cases except 1 and 2, generalized catch will be called. So for the third case, you can say, for the third case throw, it is jumping onto the generalized catch. So this is the purpose of writing generalized catch. If the existing catch statements are not matched with that particular throw block, then it will jump onto the generalized catch. That's why we got the message here, the default exception occurred. Okay, so this was the reason of having multiple catches. There may be the scenarios where you can provide multiple exception handling mechanisms to your program. Okay, so this is the way to use multiple catches. Rethrowing an exception says a handler may decide to rethrow the exception which was caught earlier, and in such situations we may simply invoke the throw without any arguments as shown. So if we want to rethrow any exception, we can use just throw keyword, and this causes the current exception to be thrown to the next enclosing try catch sequence and is caught by a catch statement listed after the enclosing try block. So have a look at this example. We have taken one divide user defined function. So in this function we have try. If y is equal to 0.0, if this condition is true, it will throw y. So it is throwing the double. It is throwing double as a exception. Okay, so else it will just divide by y. Okay, if it is true, then it will throw an exception, otherwise it will execute in a proper manner. Because we are doing here divide by 0, we are handling divide by 0 exception here. So if y will be 0, then it will throw the exception, otherwise it will just print the division. So catch block is having one parameter as a double, so it is having caught double inside the function. So when this statement gets true, it will jump onto this catch block, and in this catch block it will print this message, and it will throw again the exception which was thrown earlier. So this is end of function. So this particular code is having statements for user defined function. Okay, so in main function we have entered into the main function. We are trying this particular divide function. As I said that we can also call any function inside the try block. So for the first time we call divide function. These value will be given to double x and double y, and because none of them is equal to 0, then division will occur. So it will just execute the x by y. For the second calling, it is having 20.04 x and 0.04 y. Yes, it is equal to 0, y is equal to 0, then it will execute the exception, it will throw the exception. So this exception will jump onto the catch block here inside the main function. We have written here double, and it is executing the catch block inside the main function, and then it will end the main function. I have already run this program, but for all of your convenience I will again run this program. Okay. Here is the program. So when I run this program, carefully see the output. Inside the, first of all, it will enter into the main function. This statement will be printed. It will call the divide function. Then because y is not equal to 0, it is 3.0, then it will perform the x divide by y. So this is the output here. Division is happening here. End of function, the statement was displayed, and For the second time, when we call the divide function, it will enter inside the main inside that divide function. This statement will be printed, and exception caught, it will throw the exception to the catch, because we have y is equal to 0.0. Then it will go to the catch block inside the function. First of all, it will, because we have provided the catch block or exception handling mechanism inside this user defined function only, then it will first go to the catch block inside the user defined function. So in divide function, it will first of all print the inside function, and then this user defined function catch statement is throwing the exception again towards the main function. Then it will throw the exception into the main function. It will then jump onto the catch statement which we have written inside the main function. So this throw is rethrowing the exception which was caught by the user defined function. So divide was here a user defined function, and it rethrown the exception towards the main function. So this catch block which is written inside the main function will be executed. It will display exception caught double inside the main, and then it will end the main function. So this is the way to rethrow the exception. You can do it this with the help of user defined function, or generally in the case of user defined function you may have to rethrow the exception to the main function. So that's why the same was implemented here. This particular user defined function is having these three statements: try, throw, and catch. Then this catch block is throwing exception towards the main function. So in main function we have another catch which is handling the exception handling mechanism thrown by the user defined function. Okay, so this was the procedure of rethrowing it. And if you want to rethrow an exception, then you have to just use the keyword rethrow as it is done here. So I will just add the comments here. Rethrowing an exception is done with the help of this one. In this program, when an exception is rethrown, then it will not be caught by the same catch statements or any other catch statement in that group. Rather, it will be caught by an appropriate catch in the outer try catch sequence only. So outer try catch sequence here was the main function here. When an exception is rethrown, it will be catched by the outer try catch statement. So a catch handler itself may detect and throw an exception also, like it has done here in the user defined function like this. Here again the exception thrown will not be caught by the catch statements inside that group, inside this inside this user defined function. It will be passed to the try catch statements written outside for the processing. Okay, so this was the case of rethrowing an exception. So whenever you will rethrow an exception, it will not be handled by the catch which is written inside the same. So for suppose if you have more than one catch here inside this user defined function, but this catch statement is having this throw, this will be thrown by the outer try catch sequence, or you can say the try catch sequence which is defined outside this divide function. Okay, so that's the procedure how rethrowing an exception works. Specifying an exception says that it is possible to restrict a function to throw only specified exceptions, and this is achieved by adding a throw list clause to the definition. And the general format for using an exception specification is as follows. Here we have type and the function name, argument list, and this is the way to specify an exception: throw, type, list, and this is the function body. The example are like int a underscore function, this is the function name, this is the type, and this is the parameter list. Int param, this is the parameter name, and throw int, this will say that it is throwing the integer type and exception. Okay, so it will relate to this particular function. This is again showing integer parameter. Then this is another way to specify an exception. You can specify an exception with the empty argument list. And this is third format, wherein we have one function with only the parameter. one parameter as the argument. So the first function in this example takes one argument of type integer and it will return an integer, and the only exception that is this function might throw is an exception of integer type. So this function can only send or throw the exception of integer type. Second function also takes one argument of type integer and it will return an integer in this case, in this one, and the function may not throw an exceptions because there is no type specified inside these brackets, and no type specified means that the function is not allowed to throw an exception. So here if no type is specified, then this function cannot throw an exception. So these three are the possible ways to specify an exception, and this last function may throw an exception of any type. So this particular statement can throw any type of exception. So later on it will depend upon the catch handler or the catch statements you are including inside the catch blocks. So this was all about specifying an exception and rethrowing an exception. So first of all, we saw how the exception handling mechanism works by looking at this example, and how these catch, try, catch and throw block works. Try block includes the statements or the function name wherein we may encounter the exceptions, and besides those statements it will have throw block also. Throw will have one parameter of similar type of which the exception has occurred, and for that particular throw statement you have to include the catch statement or catch block inside your function. So there in the catch block you will be writing the mechanism to handle the exceptions, either by writing any statement that will notify the programmer that exception has that an exception has occurred, due to which variable. It will display the variable also, that due to which variable exception has occurred. Okay, so this was all about your exception and rethrowing an exception. Further we will see what are the various topics related to templates into your next videos. Thank you so much. Take care.